We're back! Past the Aux, Season 2, Episode 3.
With 3 already?
Episode 3.
We're moving.
We're moving, and we're on the way to 50 subs. We have 22. Keep it going. We can go live on YouTube. Jaden, Wyatt, cousins of 18 excruciating,
brutal,
terrible, miserable,
starving,
maybe the worst, we don't know, terrible years. Back on Past the Aux for Bully Deluxe. It was just over a month ago we released our original review on what was at the time the only version of Bully that was out on streaming. Now we have, although it's a deluxe, more of a definitive version with Kanye re-recording the vocals and updating the mixes for all of the existing songs and adding in 2 new songs in OK and Mission Control. And then I think what's been kind of one of the most hyped up things was getting the Lauryn Hill feature on I Can't Wait. So Bully Deluxe came out just about a week ago, and Wyatt, kind of initial thoughts for you on somebody who liked Bully but maybe wasn't over the moon for it.
Do you remember what we talked about at the end of our Bully review? We talked about should there be a deluxe because there were talks of a deluxe.
Yeah,
Do you remember what I said about it?
I know you didn't really want a deluxe.
I voted no on a deluxe because my thing was I wanted Kanye to move forward. I think this was a good way for him to bounce back. I think it was like his first, in my eyes, real album since probably like Donda.
I would agree.
Yeah. So what I didn't want him to do was like go down and dwell on it or move backwards and kind of regress trying to mess with the sound too much. He surprised me and he went up because rather than releasing like another 10, 15 songs and just calling it a deluxe, he actually made this album a deluxe, and he improved on every single song by remixing them and getting rid of, I believe, all of the AI.
Yeah,
if not very much of it.
I think there's literally like one portion of one song on Preacher Man that still has AI.
I think part of All the Love is still AI too.
It's, in fact, we have to have this debate. Is a topic for a whole other episode.
Dystopian, if you will.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I think it was an improvement. And maybe if you didn't listen to Bully a lot, you wouldn't notice the updates. But if you listen to Kanye, you're going to notice the change in the voice. Especially on songs like This a Must. And I also felt like a little bit on maybe King. But the energy's there, the emotion on some of those songs where NFR, I think, put it best. And they said it kind of sounds like he recorded these songs while sitting down. He didn't have that passion. And I think that he recovered well, and in the last couple months, he's been able to re-record them at more of that Kanye level. I said this all the way back on our last review, that I Can't Wait is maybe the most underrated song. Sisters and Brothers was there as well, but I said that I Can't Wait is underrated. And boy, did he not disappoint, and I think my claim was only proved correct because Lauryn Hill, to me, just tied that song together. It was the polish, that last coat of paint that you needed to just have a complete finished product, and something that maybe wasn't completely present on that original version, but I was really a fan of what she brought, re-singing the sample. I almost kind of wanted a verse from her, but I know she's an unk now, and so was Kanye, and asking for more than one verse or a verse at all from either of those two is maybe a little bit much to ask, but I was definitely a fan of that change, being one of like the only real additions to the album. But OK, featuring Don Toliver, I felt like it was another verse where Kanye goes hard.
Yeah, you know me. If you know the channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of the government requirement on Don Toliver and 21 Savage and even Travis Scott sometimes.
Mainly Cactus Jack.
With these verses that they're seeming to be required to have on these albums. So, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Don Toliver. I thought he did okay. I liked his verse here more than I liked it on some of his other verses in the past. But I did like Kanye's role in this song. I think that he kind of showed flashes of Kanye rather than post episodes.
Let's talk. I mean, the beat as well.
The production is good. Yeah, and that's the second half of the album. I felt like when we did our original review, the beat just got kind of lazy. It felt like you were hearing more of the same stuff over and over again. But on this deluxe, I liked the production, and it wasn't just on the new additions. They cleaned up the production on on the rest of the album. So I like the production on this deluxe as a whole. But
I was very satisfied with OK.
Yeah.
Really good Don Toliver feature, originally featuring on Circles, and it was kind of underwhelming before he got removed. But to have him back on a Kanye album, which we weren't sure if that was going to happen, there was disputes over him. I think still on Spotify, almost all of his features on Ye songs are removed. So to have him back on a song that's available on all platforms and not removed, I think is a big positive just for music in general. I like the relevance of Ye's verse. Don Toliver's verse is, to be it's his type of verse. But for Kanye, I felt like we got more of what we were looking for. And then I thought Mission Control maybe was the only one that I was like, I'm not so sure. So to keep it as brief as possible, here's my history with the song. When the album released on vinyl, Mission Control was officially released there. But when it was released on streaming, Mission Control didn't make the cut. So I was listening to like the high quality rip from the vinyl or the CD or whatever on like YouTube and stuff. And I was like, man, this is really good. And I'm not a fan of the gospel Kanye music, not because I think it sounds bad. I'm just not a fan of gospel music. But there's something in this song to me that I thought was really catchy. There was a little addictive thing in this song. I can't tell you exactly what it was. It's just the sound. And I was really impressed, although I don't know how much, the gospel fits into Kanye's life anymore. I do think that this song was pretty good, and I think to put it best, this is the best way to close out this era. It is like, okay, we had the AI, we had the crazy episode last year. The album is in a finished state, and I think maybe as an artist we felt that Ye doesn't always go back and complete his work. Donda 2 released last year, completely unfinished, and he moves on. But I think that was an unhealthy way of moving on. I think now, with what we saw on Bully Deluxe, him completing it, I think that's going to allow him to really move on in a pretty healthy way, in a way that also allows him to advance with the sound of his music. OK was premiered night 2 of his SoFi concerts at a listening party they had right afterwards. Mission Control, like we said, was released on the records. These are older songs. This is not his sound as of June 2026. This is still earlier in the year. And now that it's out in the atmosphere, I think we can finally put a rest to this era on a pretty high note.
Yeah, and I didn't want a deluxe to this album because I didn't think Kanye was capable of actually putting out a deluxe. What I thought it was going to be is I thought it was going to be the Bully name, deluxe behind it, the entire track list removed, and just more of like the slop slapped on here. And I didn't really want that because I thought he did pretty well on Bully, and I thought he should have built off of that. What he did here is he made an actual deluxe. He made improvements on every single track. The tracks he threw on there and then the Lauryn Hill feature were pretty respectable, and he can move forward with it. I feel like in rap music nowadays, especially me listening to more like underground, they have a really bad habit of when they do drop albums and not just singles, they'll drop an album, it's kind of whatever, then they'll slap a deluxe on it, and they strip the entire track list and just put a whole new track list. If it was 15 songs, they're going to throw on a new 15 songs, and it's not even the same album. Like I know when I used to listen to Destroy Lonely, Broken Hearts and Broken Hearts 2 were kind of like that. Just completely different albums with the same name.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I was scared Kanye was going to do, and he didn't. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I think artists also did that for like chart manipulation and stuff. And it's like instead of releasing a new album, we're going to release a deluxe, but with the old name. So that way people think it, whatever. Whole other topic for another Pass the Aux. But I think I gave it a 7 out of 10 last time. I don't know if you remember exactly what you gave it.
I gave it a derogatory 7 or a positive 6.
I'm up in my score by 1 point, I think. I think it deserves 1 point. Maybe half a point is a little bit more of a conservative, fair estimate. So we'll say 7.5 out of 10 for me, I think, with the updates. And small side note, I like the deluxe cover more. I think it has a little bit more aura to it. It's still Saint in the grills, but the angle, I don't know why. The original one is straight on. This one's angled. It's just got more aura. I don't know what else to say. It's got more aura.
I don't think there's any point. I don't think there should be a hot take, but it could be. I don't think there's any point in really going back and listening to the old Bully
Absolutely not.
for purposes of enjoying the music. I think this is in every form. You were talking about the album cover. I think in literally every single form that this is the better album.
Bully Deluxe is not a deluxe, it's a definitive version.
Yeah. Hot take, that's what a deluxe should be in my mind. Have you ever seen that clip of LeBron where he's talking about dropping an album and he's like,
here go 2 more for y'all.
He came up with the idea of a deluxe, which, you know, it's stupid. It's LeBron caught lying again. But I think at its core, that's what people want in a deluxe. They want 2 more. And that's what Kanye did. He literally gave us 2 more. So shout out Bron for giving Kanye the idea of dropping a deluxe.
That's what the king does, bro.
Yeah.
Bully Deluxe, Bully Definitive, whatever you want to call it. I think I give it more of a recommendation than I give Bully. And I think it's a pretty good sign for what's to come with Ye's music because it's back on the right track. It seems like there's an attention to detail and a care once again. So, being said, that's all for us today on Pass the Aux. Make sure you smash that like button, boom, and hit that subscribe so we can go live on YouTube. And as LeBron once said when he created the deluxe album, here go 2 more for y'all. See you next time.